Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thanks for watching, thanks for being here. I hope you stick around. Today we are talking about one of my favorite things. So obviously, health coach, I specialize in hormone health. So hormones are something I am super passionate about, love to chat about hormones. And today I wanted to talk about hormones and specifically your cycle phases and how that relates to your energy going into the new year. So I was thinking about this the other day because I was just feeling really inspired going into the new year, and I was just feeling super motivated and all that good stuff, like all the good energy that you want going into the new year. But I honestly feel like that going into every follicular phase. And my follicular phase just so happened to start right around the new year, like a day or so before the new year. So it was like the perfect energy to go into the new year with. So if you don't know what the phases are, I'm going to explain a little bit about that. But yeah, basically, if you did not feel motivated going into the new year, if you just did not feel inspired, you wanted to just kind of hole up, be cozy, didn't want to do goals, didn't want to, map out a plan to change your entire life this year, that's totally okay. That doesn't mean you're not inspired. It just might not have been the time in your cycle when you're feeling that way. So a little breakdown of your cycle phases. There's 4 phases, and everybody obviously knows your menstrual phase. That's when you have your period. But there's 3 other phases. So it's your follicular phase, your ovulatory phase, and your luteal phase. And you feel different in each of those phases based off of what your hormones are doing. So your follicular phase comes right after your period ends. It's when your energy is going to start to pick up. And I'm going to compare these to seasons, like weather seasons, because I think it's such a good comparison, fun comparison. And so your follicular phase is like spring. And traditionally, the new year, Chinese New Year and all that kind of stuff, like it actually falls in the springtime. It makes more sense because that's, when everything becomes new, it starts to regenerate. And so your follicular phase is like the springtime. And so going into the new year, entering your follicular phase is like the perfect phase for, the calendar new year. And so that's why I just thought it was so cool, and it's kind of what inspired me to make this episode, because like I said, springtime is a time of beginning and regeneration, and that's kind of, like I said, the energy of the new year. That's why the follicular phase is compared to spring, because you just shed everything with your period and everything's going back into regrowth and starting over. So during your follicular phase, your ovaries start to produce more estrogen again. It causes the lining of your uterus to thicken, and the follicles on your ovaries start to develop. So you're definitely going to feel more energized and more optimistic during this phase, which again, like I said, absolutely perfect for the energy of the new year. But if you were not feeling that way, it's highly possible that you were just in a different cycle phase. And so don't beat yourself up about not feeling super inspired. So the second phase of your cycle is the ovulatory phase. This is the shortest one. It's technically you only ovulate for about 24 hours, but the ovulatory phase itself, depending on who you talk to, is anywhere from 3 to 5 days, because that is how long sperm stays alive. Like in your body, it can stay alive for 5 days. So technically, you could get pregnant in that 5-day window. But the ovulatory phase is compared to summer. because it's a time for activity, it's a time for warmth and passion. So the ovulatory phase is like the sexy phase. It's when you want to be social, it's when you want to talk to people, it's when you want to go out. It's the perfect time to go on a date, whether it's like like going on a first date or just having a date with your partner. It's when you naturally feel the sexiest, because this is when your estrogen is at its peak, because your ovaries are releasing an egg. And so this is when you're going to naturally, like I said, want to get dressed up, want to feel cute. Your skin is probably gonna look better. You're gonna naturally feel more attracted to your partners, and your mood and energy just overall is going to feel much better. So going into the new year, I would definitely say follicular phase and ovulatory phase are like optimal, but if you were not in those phases, that's totally okay. So the third phase is the luteal phase, and this one is generally the longest. And this one we compare to autumn, because it's a time of like preparation and change, because obviously your body's preparing to shed your uterus lining. And this is also when your hormone levels start to fluctuate. So you're gonna experience more mood swings. Like we all know the beloved PMS symptoms, which, by the way, intense PMS symptoms are not normal. So if you are having those, let's chat, or chat with someone, because that is not normal. You shouldn't have to go through that. But the cool thing about the luteal phase is, even though, you're going through mood swings, this is also a really good time to get creative and be productive, just because of how your hormones are, the way your brain is working. It's just a really, really perfect time to work on your creative stuff. Be productive. If you're an entrepreneur, perfect time to maybe not be so social, but get all your creative stuff done. Be super productive in your business. And the fourth phase, obviously, menstrual phase, your period. This is your winter phase, and everybody knows you just want to be cozy during your period. You want to bundle up, you want to be warm, be comfortable, you want to be cozy, and that's exactly how you want to feel in the winter. And it's a time when you want to rest, you want to reflect, you want to renew. And so, like I mentioned at the beginning, if you were not feeling super inspired to like go and set all of these goals and complete all these things at the beginning of the year, it's possible you were in your luteal or your menstrual phase and you just wanted to get more creative or cozy up. You wanted to rest. You didn't want to do all the things. Totally fine. So yeah, during your menstrual phase, your emotions are definitely going to be higher. They're going to be a little more sensitive, and self-care is absolutely essential during this phase. And you should definitely listen to what your body is craving, what it's telling you it needs, and follow those instincts. So yeah, that's just a little summary of why you might not have been feeling inspired going into the new year, but just take a look at where you're at in your cycle phases, because if you take advantage of how you're feeling in those phases and use that to your advantage in your business, in your life, in your social aspects, all of that stuff, your life just gets so much simpler, and you don't feel like you're constantly struggling against yourself. Like if you're trying to do things, like I know life happens and sometimes you just have to do those things, but if you're trying to always do things in your life where it goes against your hormone phases or what your body is naturally wanting to do or naturally attuned to at that time, your whole life is just going to feel like a struggle. It's going to constantly feel like you're fighting with yourself and struggling to complete things. So yeah, you just implement that. Like I said, implement that with your self-care, with your exercise, with your food, all of those things. And if you want to know more, like more details about cycle syncing, the cycle phases, like what to eat and all of that stuff, reach out to me on Instagram or comment here, and I will definitely be happy to send you more resources, or I can just do more of these episodes as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If this was helpful for you, please let me know. I hope it inspired you a little bit. And yeah, if you want more content like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I just really appreciate you guys for watching, for following along, and I will see you in the next video.